Right, so this week we are getting into the world of paypigging, which honestly is probably one of the weirdest experiences that I've had so far. So at the start of the episode, I'm going to bring you through some of the conversations I had with the paypig that I was talking to for about 7 months, just to set the scene. And you'll hear straight away that I wasn't exactly comfortable with it, and half the time I didn't know if I was talking to a pervert or if I was actually taking advantage of somebody who was not mentally well. And it kicked off last October. Me and my boyfriend were in Tenerife when I got this message, and the two of us were like, what the fuck is this? Then we were like, fuck it, if he wants to send me messages, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to send him voice notes or abuse the shite out of him, because that's kind of what they wanted, to be like put into their place. And as it went on, I was like, oh my God, this would be a really interesting podcast episode, because he was so keen, and he was all for it. And then out of nowhere, he ends it and blocks me. So that's that. That's gone anyway. And I was thinking, right, this has all gone on a bit too long now. I'll get him on the podcast. That'll make for very interesting listening. And then the whole sorry thing will be put to bed. But no, he got there first. So after that then, I will be joined by Niamh, who got into financial domination herself. And she took to it like a duck to water. She took to it a lot fucking better than I did anyway. So between my strange little saga and her first-hand experience, you will get the full picture of how mad this whole thing can be. At the time, I was on the fence, so I put a poll up on my Instagram story and I asked people, if you were in a situation where a paypig has approached you and wanted to give you money, what would you do? And it was resounding. Yes, absolutely, I would take it if somebody wanted to give me free money. So I said, yeah, fuck it. If, I don't have to do anything except fucking say thanks, pig, and my boyfriend is involved, then sure, that's grand. But anyway, things went on, and anyway, you can see for yourself from the conversation here. And for anybody who does not know what a paypig is, or FinDom, financial domination, so in the realm of BDSM, this is according to Urban Dictionary, a paypig is a submissive, almost always male, who has consented to financial servitude towards his mistress, term used in a derogatory/humiliating light, usually by mistresses. Another one is, a paypig is typically a male who pays a woman, not always a professional, to financially dominate him. He has no worth aside from pleasing his FinDom. The paypig or money slave is often rationed by his FinDom as to how much of his own money he can have access to, in some cases handing over his bank information and leases to property. So obviously you can see from that, it did not go that fucking far. But anyway, enjoy.
Can I send you money on PayPal? Please. PayPig here.
Sure, why not? My PayPal email is thedateinorange@gmail.com.
Thank you. Will send immediately and address you as Goddess. Send.
Got it. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Could I send more at some point?
You can, of course. No problemo.
Excellent. I will do. Could I ever send you money to send a voice note? Send more, Goddess.
Oh, cheers. And it's a probably not to the voice note, I'm afraid.
That's no worries. Would you like me to send you something every week? I don't want to be too forward. I expect nothing in return.
That is totally up to you. It's cool with me if it makes you happy.
Okay, perfect. I'm happy to. Do you like having that power? Not sure if you commonly get men sending you money, but you're hilarious and have a lovely voice. I'll send more next week.
Yeah, I got a few offers before, all right. Oh, cheers. Glad you enjoyed the page.
You're very welcome. Enjoy your day. If you make a wish list, I can buy some items for you too.
I think that would involve you having my address, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe if you told me what the items cost, I could just send the money, because I respect your privacy.
Ha, yeah, okay, that could work. How long are you at this paypigging?
I've been doing it for 3 years now. I like to give back some of what I earn to remain humble. I also like to send money to one woman at a time because I think a lot of women deserve to be spoiled or treated well.
That's an interesting concept.
I also love the power dynamic that I'd send money whenever the person asked for it. I like that feeling of submission.
I see. Surely you'd get sick of the same woman after a while and move on to another one to keep it interesting. How do you decide on your new recipient or pay piglet?
Well, I'd like to keep sending you money anyways. I do love your voice and humour and content. If I stumble upon them and I find them attractive, I would ask them.
Interesting. Well, thanks. Every day is a school day.
PayPig/FinDom isn't common in Ireland, mostly UK. How many men have sent you money before, and what amounts would they have sent? What would you like me to address you as?
I don't mind. I will leave it up to you.
I'd be happy with the approach of sending you the money and saying it's done, as I understand you wouldn't want to go any further than that. I would like if you addressed me as bitch, but you don't have to do that if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Don't worry, you won't have that from me.
I don't think that I can call you bitch. Anyway, I've got to run. Chat to you again.
No worries. Enjoy your day, goddess. Pig for now, then. Can I send more today, please, goddess?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, right away. Sent, goddess. I will send more soon. You've got me whipped now. Sent more.
Oh, Jesus. You didn't have to send me any more. Cheers, though.
Okay, I'll wait till next week then. Sorry. Could I send you more tomorrow, goddess?
Yeah, of course. Send away, pig.
I love when you call me pig. It instantly puts me in my place. Pig. I love it. Send, goddess. I'll send whenever you say.
Got it there. Thanks a million, pig. I wonder, would you be interested in chatting about PayPigdom on a podcast episode?
You're very welcome. Yes, I'd love to. I'm going to send more later, goddess. I could wear a mask to protect my identity. You do podcasts. I love the Blind Boy one. I'll give yours a listen.
It's audio only, so not to worry. I'm starting season 2 shortly. I think this will be a very interesting topic. I'll get back to you about it in the next few weeks. I'm glad you're interested anyway.
Perfect. That sounds good. That would be amazing to talk about, and I'd really appreciate the platform to speak about it, because I think in Ireland especially, we are very traditional and we don't like anything different or new. It's definitely unheard of in this country. Still goes on a fair bit, but not as much as the likes of the UK.
I think people would like to hear about it too. How would you know how much it goes on or doesn't go on? Is there a forum, or do you know people who do it?
Well, on Twitter, the hashtag FinDom, if you typed in, will show all of the accounts of people who are into it. And I can gauge from that where it's popular. I always love finding new trends and ways to break out of my shell. Expression of submission is so exhilarating. And it's nice to submit yourself when you're always in control of your life. Some people also dress up like a pig and walk around on a leash.
Janie, I suppose it is a spectrum. I'll get back to you with a few questions that I plan to ask so you can prepare a bit and maybe just have a think about things that you would like to bring up as well.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Can I send you more later?
Yeah, please do, pig.
Yes, goddess. Send more. Am I a good slave? I will send more later too. I love serving you. Can I trot to the ATM again?
Absolutely.
Yes, boss. On the way over there now.
Can't wait, pig.
How much should I send? For Halloween, I will dress up as a pig.
Does anyone know that you do this, friends or anything?
They do. I love the feeling of humiliation. I love the feeling of humiliation if I was to dress up as one. Sent.
Go for it, pig. And cheers.
Should I write pig on my forehead? You're welcome, goddess. Going to send you more soon. How much would you like, goddess? Writing pig on my forehead? I did it, no.
And how was that received?
I felt really good, really humiliated, and was laughed at, so it was great crack. It was liberating. I'll send what I can now and send more on Thursday. You should have seen it.
No hassle. Thanks a mil.
You're most welcome, and we'll let you know as soon as it's sent. Sent. Happy to write pig on my forehead now after sending it. How long should I leave it on for? I'll send more later on too. I do love the idea of you being superior goddess, being from Dublin and I'm a pig. I will definitely impress you with my next send. I'll try to send the most if you have any other pigs.
Sounds good, Piggy. Looking forward to it.
I'll be sending it to you, a kneeling goddess. Do you prefer goddess or boss? And I can't wait either.
I think we can move on to boss now. That suits me.
Okay, that's perfect. Sent you a good amount there, boss.
Ah, Janie, thanks a million.
Can I send more, boss?
Absolutely, Pig. Send away.
Will do. And should I write pig on my forehead afterwards?
You should do whatever makes you happy. And if that's writing on your forehead, then yes.
Yes, boss. We'll do that immediately. I will leave it on for 2 hours and walk around in public.
Fair play. Making sure lots of people see you. No messing with you, Pig.
Yes, I will. And I'll do whatever it takes to humiliate myself. Happy to send more too. Everyone is looking at me. It's so liberating. I'll send more soon. I wish I could hear a voice note from you. Just send 50. Could you please call me a filthy peasant? I'm a paypig.
Would you be free Monday evening to do 30 minutes call for the podcast?
Thank you, goddess. Yes, I would be. What would the podcast entail?
You could stay anonymous completely, obviously. I would just ask you questions like, why do you do it? How did you get into it? How does it work? Why do you think you do it? Etc. And do your friends know? It's a half an hour Zoom call, camera off.
Okay, perfect. I'd be up for that, definitely. And also I will send you more money soon. I would like to send whatever I can. Love being a peasant.
What time tomorrow suits? Would 7:30 work?
I can't do it. I'm sorry. My head's not with it lately.
And I was blocked.
And Niamh, you have dabbled in a bit of paypigging. Is that right? You have stories there.
And where do I start? Where do you want me to start?
I just think it's mad how you even met the fella in the first place. So, like, when you told me that you were the opposite of the pig, what's the name for it? What you were doing?
Financial dominant, I think.
You were the financial dominator. You were the dominator in that situation. But yeah, so tell us how you met the fella anyway.
Met him on a night out. We got chatting, and he was pretty flirty with me, and there was nothing kind of going back and forth. As in, he was flirty with me, but no, there was no kissing or anything that night. But I thought it was going that way. But anyways, we exchanged numbers or whatever. And then he was kind of blowing hot and cold. Was talking about going on a date then, wouldn't. So then I was like, I don't understand. I was like, I don't get this, So then followed me on Instagram, followed him back, same thing, liking me pictures, reacting to certain things, then radio silence. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I just didn't understand it. So after a while, I said it once or twice about going for a coffee, and then it was kind of like, yeah, but then nothing. So I was kind of like, look, do you want to go for a coffee or not? Do you know what I mean? So it was, and then, yeah, I was just like, it's yes or no. So anyways, he was like, oh, I'm just kind of doing my own thing at the minute. I was like, that's cool, whatever. So then what happened was I put something funny on my story, and it was like talking about, it was like, that video clip of Donald Trump, and it's like, I haven't done it, but I thought about it. I might do it. It's him saying that, and it was like basically talking about selling feed pictures. So I was like, but he responded saying, people pay for that, I had it up as a joke, and I was like, oh yeah, I know, blah blah blah. So then he was like, no, I'm serious, so we were having a bit of skip back and forth, and I was like, yeah, like, I'm well aware, blah, blah, blah. So then he was just like, no, like, I'd absolutely pay. And I was like, still, he's a bit of a wind-up, so I thought he was joking at this point.
Yeah, I would as well, yeah.
Yes, because he's very funny, so I was like, no, he's clearly messing with me, like, So anyways, so then with the conversation went on, and he said, no, I'd gladly pay. And I said, well, I didn't see you paying for my McDonald's breakfast this morning. Jokes, next of all, I get a notification. Such and such has sent you €20 on Revolut. And at this point, I was still corrective because I was like, he's trying to be funny. Obviously, he thinks he's so funny or whatever. And he was like, no, that's like what I'm into. And I was like, what do you mean that's what you're into? I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, have you ever heard of FinDom? But I just thought it was like an autocorrect. I was like, you mean FinDom? And he was like, no. FinDom. He was like, Google it. So I Googled it, obviously. And it was like talking about
financial domination. But what was the other one you thought it was?
FinDom, which is just female domination, as in like someone who likes a dominatrix, as in sexually. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
Well, I wouldn't like be too versed on it, but my idea of like female domination is like they like being dominated sexually, they like being the submissive, say.
The men like being the submissive of the female, being dominated by a female, basically.
Yeah.
And then what FinDom is financial domination, being dominated.
FinDom is financial domination, so it's just domination through your finances, nothing sexual. So much was like, I was like, so you don't want, like, I was kind of like, nah, there has to be a catch, because you hear about, these messages you get off like men, and they're like, hi, honey, would you like
for a sugar baby?
Like, yeah. So I was like, I was like, so like a sugar daddy. I was getting him to explain it. He was like, no, it's not a sugar daddy. Like a sugar daddy, like that, they want things in exchange. Like, I don't want anything in exchange. I was like, nothing. He was like, no. So I was like, he was like, would you be into it? And I was like, I would not be into it. I was like, do you know what? Why not? Like, I was like, what's the harm? So then obviously I went looking down more into it then. And there's a show, is it by that girl Olivia, what's her name? What is it? Is that the right girl?
Oh yeah. From Love Island.
Show on them. Yeah, I think she's off Love Island. I've never watched it, so I'm brutal, but she's a blonde girl anyway, but she done a show on it, apparently. But it's obviously based in the UK, and she's talking to people who do it like as a full-time thing. And he was like, you should watch that show. Like, and this girl was talking to a lad, and she was like, she was talking to him. It was like on Zoom, but I don't know if he could see her or if he couldn't see her. But she basically drained him of like £700 in the space of like 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we were obviously chatting back and forth, having a laugh. And I was like, so what way do you want this to work? Because I was like, it's new to me, so I don't really know, what.
Yeah, like you set out what you want here.
Yeah,
you've never been doing anything like this before.
No. So obviously you're supposed to make the rules, as in me, but obviously I don't know. So when I was obviously looking into it more, there's people that do it obviously as a full-time job. So these type of people, they would, like, say there was one girl in particular, like apparently TikTok is full of it, and so is Twitter. But there's one girl in particular, say, I think she was American, and she was saying, like, if you want to even show your interest, you have to tip her $20 to even be like, hello. And then if she gets back to you, she basically sends you this form where it's like, you have to fill out like your outgoings, like your, so she can see how much disposable income you have, like say at the end of the week, at the end of the month, whatever way you get paid, right? So she knows how much to take. But then obviously that's a bit more like,
she obviously, if she doesn't want to do too much, it's definitely.
Well, there would be some people that wouldn't think about like how much money they have left. They'll just drain you full stop, and that's it. That's tough shit.
Like, do you think it's a mental issue?
So I had this
I
conversation.
would feel bad.
You know, I was kind of, because I just find people fascinating in general, like, and say, especially with like, say, kinks and different things that people are into, like, so they would never kink shame anybody, you know what I mean? I'd be pretty open-minded when it comes to sex, but to him, that to him is like having an orgasm, like, it's like having sex.
So is he
Yeah.
wanking off to this? To getting this
Yeah, I think
FinDom?
so. Yeah. So like, but basically, obviously the people are different, but for him, his favorite thing was like to get ignored, to get insulted, which would be out of my character completely. Like, so there was funny things that he'd asked me to charge him for. So, one bit would be like a cum tax. So like if he say had to have a wank and he came, I'd have to charge him money like a tax on it.
How much is a wank these days?
Depends. Like, I think I might have charged him €20 once.
€20 a wank. And was he flat out with the wanking or just a
He, he'd
nice little
refrain
treat?
from it sometimes, and he wouldn't do it unless I told him. I
Oh,
actually forgot about that. Yeah. So that's, I suppose,
all the
another
power
story.
is in your hands there.
You know, so I was just like, you know, loved being called a loser. Wanted me to change his name to loser on my phone.
Right.
And so say, for argument's sake, if we were having a conversation, he'd ask for like a couple of minutes of me time. And so I was kind of just winging it, to be honest. So I was like, well, you're going to have to pay. You know, like, I was like, time is money. I was like, he was
I
like,
guess money loser.
yeah, literally a loser. He was like, if I send you like €10, like, I was like, €1 a minute. I was like, you can get 10 minutes for €10. You know, because I was just trying to, like, what way will
Do you
this
even know
go?
what to be fucking saying? No. Like,
So I was, because then
Jesus.
I was like, how far can I stretch this? Obviously, you know, because then at the end of the day, I was kind of like, right, I obviously don't want to take like hundreds on this man
Yeah.
because I have a conscience as well. But then at the same time, I was like, look, he's a consenting adult at the end of the day. Nobody's getting hurt, and I'm not obviously robbing thousands on him either. You know what I mean? It was kind of little and often the way he done it with me.
Do you know what job he had? Did he have much money, or would you say he was well paid?
Okay. He had an okay job, yeah. He had an okay job, and he did say to me a few times that he was going to like go into his savings and all, and I was like, no, no, no. Like, that's when I was
Fuck
kind
no,
of like,
abort.
abort
Please
mission,
don't do
abort.
that.
Red alert.
Oh God, the guilt.
Yeah, so
How long
he
did
wanted
this
to
go on
spend
for?
probably, I'm trying to think now, probably a year-ish, on and off, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the way he wanted to do it was he wanted to give me a weekly allowance just for being there, basically, for doing nothing else.
Just for being you.
So a weekly allowance. And then he wanted me to do a spreadsheet, basically, of like other stuff. So say there'd be times where I could just message him. I remember I sent him a picture of my petrol gauge, you know, and it was on empty. So
Oh, yeah.
I just sent him a picture, and I was like, I need petrol, bitch. Pay up. And he sent it. And he sent it, and he was like, that's the fucking hottest thing I've ever done. But he basically said to me, when I met you, straight away, I knew you would be good at it. And I was like, how do you mean? And he was like, you're very like, I suppose I am a very like, I'd have a dominant personality. I think I'd be, I don't know if loud is the right word, but I'm certain of myself, you know, that way. I'm quite
Yeah.
comfortable in my own skin. And he was like, I knew, but he was like, I was gonna say it to you before, and then I kind of chickened out. And then he said, when you put that post up, I said to myself, fuck it, I'll chance it, you know?
And what are the worst things you said to him? Can you think about, like,
I'm
when you
having a
go back
little,
into your messages with him?
yeah, yeah. So as well, actually, his favorite thing was to see me slagging him to other people.
Oh fuck.
So he would pay. He would pay to see a screenshot. Now, nobody knew who he was, but I would just send the chat, you know what I mean, and block out whatever.
You'd be in the WhatsApp group chat with girls saying, this fucking
Yeah.
smelly bastard over here.
Yeah. And if they joined in on it, was even better.
And what did your
So-
friends think about this?
They were a bit shocked at first, but they were like, no, you're fucking lying. And I was like, I promise you, I'm not lying. I remember there was one night, that there was one particular night, right? I was out with my friends, but it was a group, there was kind of lads and girls. And we were chatting away, and I don't know how I had told one of my friends, and they were like, tell them about your pig. And I was like, they were like, excuse me, what? Like, and I said, oh, like I have a pay pig. And they were like, what do you mean? And I said, sends me money. And they were like, sugar daddy. I was like, no, doesn't, like, I was like, that's not what it is.
Sexual, yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling one of my friend's husbands, and he was like, piss off. He was like, there's no way. There's no way. And I was like, I'm telling you. And he was like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I said, have a look. Like that. I just let him have a look, because like the name and all was different. So he couldn't say anything, So I was like, have a look there. And I said, I'm going to the bar. I said, leave the chat open. I said, and you can see, the message is coming through. So so there's one part here. So it's like, they're either all one after the other, right? If I pay, I can chat. A little emoji, like crying emoji. Please, I'm begging hard. I'm desperate. Jesus, I'm a sad act. Please, I'm weak. And then the little emoji on the knees and the praying. Please let these ticks go blue. I will sit on this chat. Of course, I'll pay. You're on. Left on scene. Damn. What would I have to send to chat like a loser?
So why is he just looking for like a few minutes of your time, just for you to degrade him a little bit, send him a few insults or something?
Yeah, so probably like, I remember the first time I insulted him, I felt like saying sorry afterwards, because I was like, I know. Obviously that ruins the buzz. Like, I just said, oh my God, you're so desperate. Don't be asking me stupid questions. Can I pay for every reply I get off you? And I said, that could get expensive. And he was like, could I pay X amount of cent per reply? And I said, cent, come on now. And then say there was that particular night, he was like, I'd love to buy you and your friends a drink. And I was like, yeah, well, we're drinking cocktails. And he was like, can I send you, let's just say €50? And I was like, do you know how much a fucking whiskey sour is? And he was like, how much is it? And I was, let's just say it was €15. I was like, 15 by 5. And he sent it for the drink. So I was asking him, I was like, where did this come about? Because I was like, I'm not judging you. I was like, I'm just genuinely curious. And he was like, he's very an open book, you know what I mean? And he was basically like, I've always been kind of like into kinky stuff, he said. And then I don't know how he basically stumbled across this one day, and he was like, no, this is what I want. So he had another,
this is
a bit of me, yeah. And then he had another one before me, but I think she was like an online person, so like didn't know her. Yeah,
he
didn't know
mind
her.
the fact that he met you in real life. He like, as opposed to keeping that kind of his separate to his real life personality, where he goes out and meet people. I would be thinking like, yeah, I'll keep that kink private and just to these random internet women that do not fucking know me. But he's no issue with that. He's no issue. Met you in a bar, like it was looking like potentially going towards dating, but no, roped you in a different way.
I was genuinely curious, because I was like, are you not interested then in women, or like you're just not interested at the minute, or like, because he was chatting away to me, because like that, he's a lovely guy, so I've loads of respect for him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's quite open, like I said, and he was basically just saying that like he, at the moment, no, like he doesn't have any interest. He's interested in women, but this is kind of what he enjoys.
He's no interest. He's not looking at like getting married, having children, or whatever. All he wants is to get his rocks off by being insulted and degraded by women.
Pretty much, but then I think that's possibly why he might have wanted to stop. Because he said, like, this is what I mean. He's very clued in, like he's very much head screwed on, because he was telling me that he spoke to like his therapist and stuff like that. And I was like, and what did they say? What was their comment on it? And he was saying basically that once it's not like an unhealthy kind of obsession or whatever, and like that, she didn't seem to have a problem with it, put it that way. Like, yeah. I don't know, like, I suppose like people smoke, people drink, like, I don't know what you spend your money on, but like, it is mad. Like, obviously I've never encountered it before, but the more I started looking into it, I was like, this is actually, he said it's really, really popular.
Sorry, how did it end? Who ended it? Who put it forward that it was to end?
He was basically like, he had said to me, he wanted to give like a certain amount and blah, blah, blah. But then it was kind of dropping off, you know. So I was like, I'm not going to chase him. Like, I was like, you asked me for this. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was basically saying he just had a few bits going on. And I was like, yeah, look, no hassle. Like, you know, I was like, at the end of the day, you asked me. So like, I was like, if you want to pull the cord on this, there's no problem. Like, you know, and because I was like, we're cool anyway. I was like, so don't think it'll be awkward or anything like that. Nobody knows, you know what I mean? It was just between me and him. So
How much do you think you got off him in the end?
probably 100, I'd say. Yeah, probably more. Trying to think. I know I got
100.
no, a couple of hundred.
Couple hundred, yeah.
Yeah, probably was less than a year. I'm trying to think now because it wasn't solid, you know, like it was kind of in and out. But I'd say I probably got like I would have got more because I think I got about €200 off him over a weekend period.
Right,
But
okay.
it was all like little things, like little small amounts. You know, like he was asking, say, for money for a picture of the conversation. Then he wanted money of a picture of me sticking my finger up. But nothing like not naked, nothing like that. Just like one of them.
Did you send any feet pics?
Did I send them a feet picture? I think I might have sent them one in a pair of boots, but no face around.
He loves the financial domination and the feet. That's the two kinks in one there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he is like a submissive, like in the bedroom as well. Normally, if you are financially, it would be the other way. I actually think most men are submissive, but they don't want to admit it.
I don't know. Then I look at all those fucking weirdos that you come across on dating apps with those, and they're saying like that they're looking for a submissive woman. I think you're just actually a woman beater. Basically, you want to.
Well, that as well. But then, you know what I'd think as well? I'm like, most of them are all talk, and then when it actually comes down to it, you're doing nothing.
Yeah,
do you know? I remember because I give you an example. Even when I've had this conversation with my friends before, and I remember there was one fella and he was full of it. You know, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and all this carry on." And I was like, "Lovely, yeah, can't wait." Just later, I was like, "Grant, perfect."
He just lay there.
Just fucking
Little
later.
princess.
Yeah, the pillow princess, little May Fainer. I was like, "Oh, here."
I'm the worst dominator possible. Like he'd be like, "Do you want me to do this?" I'm like, "If that makes you happy, go for it." Cause like fucking, I just can't. I can't. I don't have it in me to be fucking brutal. Because I'd be thinking then, am I a bad bastard? Am I a bad bastard that I have this person? Are they well? Like, are they well? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then like, there's so many people like you know, all these people who are like, don't kink shame. People are into what they're into. And I'm like, okay, well, if what they're into is fucking sending me money where I say, thanks, pig. Cheers, pig. Grand. That'll get me and the girls a few drinks there, pig.
No one's crying over it.
Well, exactly.
When I told my friends like that, they were like, fuck off. And they were like, where can I get one? That was, I would say, 95% of people's
reactions. The girls are saying that to me as well. They were hunting.
Where can I get
one of the girls in Australia, her and her boyfriend, flat out looking up how to get PayPig.
Come here, do you know where this guy was from?
Maybe he's Irish, yeah. Have you looked into doing it maybe professionally?
So I haven't looked into doing it professionally because I don't think I'd have the time to put into it. Because it does, like if you're doing a full whack, it does take a lot of time. Because even when I was watching these girls, like now they're making serious dough. Yeah. Like, my mom only said to me the other day, something was on the telly about people selling their toenail clippings, and I was laughing. She didn't know that I was doing that. Like, but I was
rubbing their feet into slices of bread. Do you know?
Yeah, or what's that?
Making an imprint.
That foot finder, is it? Me and my friend went on that one day to the crack to have a look, and there was people mashing potatoes with their feet. No, we were crying. I was like, no, this is what's going on.
It's a mad business. But you haven't seen him since or anything. There's been no, like that part of it fizzled out, and there was no coffee dates anyway after that. I tell you, fucking hell.
No, there was no coffee dates. No, but yeah, just mad how it's set up all the same. Oh,
Jesus.
The girls are like, fuck it, you know. I was like, yeah, why not? But sorry, yeah, I've gotten a few messages. Obviously, when I followed certain pages on TikTok, these are girls doing it. I started getting messages then off men.
Ah,
Because obviously they're probably looking into who's following who, or it might
Yeah.
come up like, you know, people you may know or whatever. I don't really know how the whole algorithm on TikTok works, but I got a couple of messages and I actually screenshot them and sent them to him. And I was like, what he seems like a time waster. And he was like, yeah, he's not legit.
all right, okay.
No, he
So
wasn't.
he has the sus.
Yeah, because he was like, no, that's bollocks, like, you know, because like that, a lot of them were like, oh, do you want? No, so a few people have sent me messages saying like, hey, honey, you know, I'd like to fund your lifestyle, and I'll text them back and be like, hey, sweetheart, yeah, that's no problem. I only deal with PayPig, so if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And a lot of the time they'll come back and they'll say either they're not too sure they're sure they know what a PayPig is, but like they won't kind of engage, and they're just like, oh, I'm looking for a companion. I'm like, nah, like, no.
That's just some scammer. That's some, you know, with a picture of some American owl lad, you know, usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jesus, very exciting anyway. And, you know, hopefully another legit one finds you, gives you a few bob.
Yeah. Because like that, yeah, he
That's-
wanted to kind of fizzle it out. And I was like, look, that's no worries. Like, there's no, but he has said to me once or twice, like, you know, he'd be like, oh, relapse would be hot, like about like doing it again.
Yeah.
Because I actually sent him, when you had it up on your story, I sent it to him and he wrote back saying, interesting. And I was like, yeah, we were having a chat. She has one as well. And he was like, piss off. I was like, yeah, no, she has one. And then he was like, no, wait, but we were talking about that film, Baby Girl. And I was like, did you watch it? And he was, I can't remember if he'd watched it. And I was saying, it was good. I said, like, I was like, few people would say, oh, it's a bit fucked up. But I was like, they're probably just a bit sheltered or whatever. But we were laughing. But I said it actually would have been more interesting, I think, if I had have been the other way around and the man had have been a submissive. Obviously, I know she was.
film.
You
Who's
didn't
that?
see it? That's
Nicole
you know,
Kidman.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
No, I may look at him now.
yeah, you should look at it. But basically, she's like the CEO of a company, and he comes in. He's an intern. I think he's an intern, and they start having this relationship. But she, like that, he kind of tells her what to do, gets on her knees, all this carry on, which is grand. Like, but I thought obviously she was the powerful one, which is normally a man, say, for example. But I think it would have been a better plot and more interesting if
It was the other way around.
Yeah, and then that the woman was dominating him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I know.
So-
It is. I suppose that's what we're used to, and maybe they just wanted to change it up. But I may watch it now. I didn't know that was the fucking plot of that film.
yeah,
But
good, it's a
I'll
good
definitely
thing.
watch it now. Thanks so much. That was very
No.
interesting. You're the only dominatrix I've gotten. So delighted.